tanong dito, diyan sa nakaganapan na yan, nasaan siya ng oras na yan? Hindi yung, yan ang hirap naman. Gagamitin nyo pa yung na-accident na nga sa kakagamit ng pulburon tapos naaawa na. Hindi naman totoong naaawa kayo kasi kung naaawa kayo, imbis na i-deny nyo na official entourage, bantakan nyo, sinabi nyo hindi siya official entourage. Noon pa man, paglabas pa lang ng issue na yan, marami nang naglabas ang balita na official entourage ni Lisa Araneta Marcos, siya ang si ano. Ang dating parang dininay nyo yung si Paulo Tantoco, di ba? I-deny ho siya na mismo mga kasama niya dyan sa trip na yan. Yun ang nakakaawa. Hindi nakakaawa na mapag-usapan at saka hindi naman siya binabanatan dito. Again, pribadong tao yang si Tantoco. Hindi, kung gusto niya magpakagurgur, ika nga, pumlakda na lang siya na siyang araw sa kakagamit ng pulbur. Wala tayong problema doon. Hindi niya hinahawakan, wala siyang hawak na pwesto sa pamahalaan, wala siyang hawak na pera na sambayanan. Wala tayong problema dyan. Kahit ubusin niya lahat ng kayamanan nila sa pag-Coca-Cola, walang problema yan. Ang tanong lang naman ho dito, nasaan ho si Lisa nung kasalukuyang nangyayari ang party-party na yan? Marami hong naglabas ang mga video. Gusto niyo ipakita ko sa inyo yan eh. Ano
Hey, what's up, everyone? So, guys, today we're gonna
na i-deny nyo na official entourage, bantakan nyo, sinabi nyo hindi siya official entourage. Noon pa man, paglabas pa lang ng issue na yan, marami nang naglabas ang balita na official entourage ni
hey, Eureka Duta Tensi. Hello. I'm gonna draw today something today we're gonna draw first the character. So I'll check on Pinterest. But then after that, I'm gonna have some tutorial. So I think I picked something here in Pinterest. I think this is AI. So first one, we're gonna draw the head. So this character is he's bowing, so he's looking at his face is So we're gonna draw a straight line here, then I'm gonna draw a curve. This is where the eyes, the center, then the cheek, then the chin. So this one, I'm gonna find the side of the face. I'm gonna connect them, and then find the center here, and the ears, and you draw that way. So something like that. So we're gonna fix, if there's some distortion, we're gonna fix it. The forehead. So okay, so someone called. So the eyes is here, so this is the side of the face. So the eyes is here, and the other eyes is here. So this is the eyes, this is the eyes. So that's guidelines. Then the nose. So this one, circle, so usually the nose is above. Eyelids, eyebrow, is the forehead. So now we're gonna draw the body. So she is like his head is down. So is like when you draw a neck. Okay, this is the head, the neck. When you draw it, there's a muscle here. I don't know if it's muscle. I forgot. Okay, there's muscle. There's muscle here, and there's muscle here, muscle here, then muscle here. And this one is empty. The side is empty. So there's muscle here, there's muscle there, and then this is a collarbone. This is the voice box. So if you draw a shadow here, shadow here, shadow here, shadow here. If it's side view, voice box, muscle, muscle, then traps, muscle, the back of the neck, and then collarbone, then shoulder. So this one here is empty, and this one is the voice box, and then the face, ears, something like that. So okay, so we're gonna draw the body. So this is the head, one, this is one, this is two, three, and four. So 4 heads, or 3 heads for the body. So we're gonna divide. I'm gonna get the 1/4. So this one for the neck. So the center of her body is here, and she's curving, or maybe we can exaggerate. So this is the center line of her body, this line here. So this is her rib cage. We're gonna find the center. So this is her rib cage and her hip bone. It's like a shape, heart shape. So when you draw a body, it's like drawing a shape. So this one will be shaped like this, and shaped like that. Okay, that's simple. So just follow. Because she is a girl, this character is a she. So we're gonna have a curve here, the hip, and then the glutes. You don't see the glutes on this side, so I'm gonna have to erase this part. So the glutes is here, side, here. So this is the leg part, and leg part. So now you'll find the error once you're done, so just fix it if there's something wrong, because I think her body's too long, so I'll just fix it later. So this is her rib cage, shoulder, this is her shoulder. So now this is the rib cage, and this is her arm. Okay, I'm gonna have to something like that. Then her rib cage here. I think I'm gonna have to adjust the bottom part. So you know, she's wearing a hat. I think she'll wear a straw hat. You know, straw hat. You know someone who wears a straw hat? Comment down if you know. I think the hand is kind of far. So I have to adjust. I think the hat is messing with here. In here. I think that's it. And I don't know what kind of hair should I give her. Maybe the Fubuki hairstyle. Okay, I think that's it. I don't know, the wear is you have to find the best wear. How about this? No, she has a I think I'm gonna have to lower them down. And then the collarbone is here. I think I had enough hair for her. first we're gonna draw her face. So, if you have a perfect face, then the body just follow through. Because if you have an ugly face, but you have a good body, then sometimes it doesn't work. Hello, my one viewer. Hey, one viewer. Oh shit. Made a mistake. This is what I don't like sometimes on digital, because if you make mistake, then it's hard to cover that. So you have to be careful. with her hands. Anyway.
Ayo. Sir, ako papi sarap.
Okay. Just refill this pen. So I'm just gonna draw some random. Wait. If I draw and then I have to. Okay. Oops. Okay. Another mistake. That's fine. No, don't be afraid to have a mistake. Okay. Hello, Nyan. Hey, Nyan. So I'm about to end my first drawing. So now, do you guys have any requests like tutorial, or maybe you wanna ask something about drawings? You can ask now. Yep. Just a very quick goofy drawing. Just thank you. So do you guys have anything to ask about drawings? Feel free. So I'm gonna erase lines. So you can clearly see the line art. Okay. Philippines. So where are you from? Okay, for the meanwhile, we're gonna draw some faces. How long have I been? Oh, so I was live for like 20 minutes ago. So where is that NTMY exactly? So then draw face. Oh yeah, I have a lot of sketches here. So we're gonna draw face, straight front face. I'm gonna draw a circle, not perfect circle. I'm gonna draw a straight line. I'm gonna get maybe 3/4 of this space here. So maybe 3/4 or something like this. I'm gonna put it here. So this. Then we're gonna draw a from this line down here. It depends if you want a pointy chin or if you want this kind of chin, this kind of chin, this kind of chin. Depends. So I'm gonna draw a soft, pointy and soft, kind of soft face, soft shape. So usually if you draw this kind of jaw instead of this jaw, this jaw is more on male, this is more on female, but you can have also male with soft jaw, but it doesn't look so muscular. So if you draw the nose, usually the space from here, so I have to go and about. So mostly the nose is here, below the circle, and the mouth. So you have to find here the space from between the nose and the chin. So usually it's upper middle. So this is the mouth, and under the mouth is this one, under the lips. Then the eyes. Oh, sorry. Wait. I have to increase the volume. Okay. Can you hear now? Can you hear me? I think I have to filter. Oh, wait. I have to filter something. Maybe a gain. Okay, gain. Hello, hey, I think that's too loud. Hey. Hello, hey. Is that too loud? Hey. Hey. Okay, how about that? Hey. Hello. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, let's go back. So let's, you draw a circle. So you draw a circle, then you divide them, then you get the 3/4 from the center to the bottom of the circle. So this is the 3/4. Then you put it at the bottom, and then that's where your chin. But there are faces that are long, that has longer jaw or chin. For example, you draw this one, then usually the half of the circle is the chin. Usually this one applies to male characters, so you draw this kind of jaw here, the strong jaw, and this one here, the flat chin. So this kind of jaw here, so that kind of jawline. So usually this applies to male characters. Then when you draw, okay, let's go back here. When you draw eyes, it's usually lower from the center. So you draw a line, straight line, and then the ears is usually nose. So this is the line of the nose, and this is the line of the eyebrows. Usually it's the line of the eyebrows and the line of the nose. So this is where your ears. Yeah, that's ears. So if you draw ears, usually if it's side view like this, front, if it's front view, usually it's kind of, if it's side view, if you see the full length. But if it's front view, usually you don't see the full view. So the curve is mostly like this one. If you look in the mirror, you saw this part here, this one. But if it's side view, you see everything. Okay, so like that. But you can just don't, you can draw a very simple ears like that, and then like that, the traditional ears like that. But if you if you want more detail, then from this one, this is the traditional ears. Maybe you can do a detailed one like that and like that. And if your character has longer ears, then draw it something like that. Then you erase this one. So something like that. But if it's front view, usually you see this part here. You don't see this part, just this part and this part here. Okay, so let's go back to the face. So this is the face. So you draw eyes. If you draw eyes, make sure to have a shape, oval shape. Something like that. So in the comic style, the face usually has, okay, let's say in the comic style they divide the face into like 4 eyes or 4 equivalent eyes. So the other eyes is, you'll do the half and half. So if you combine them, then there's equivalent to 1 eye. So let's say 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's, if it has a small face, then usually you divide your face something like this, 4 eyes. But in comic style, they have like 5 eyes. So something like that. Yeah, a very wide face. So in comic style, let's draw. Okay, the comic style, they divide your face. So this is the center, one eye, 2 eye, 3 eye, then 4 eye. So that's how they divide. But I think I've seen wrong, because it looks the face so wide. So if you draw the eyes something like this, and then the nose here, then the mouth here, then the jaw, I mean the, forgot this bone here, the chin bone. I mean, this is the chin bone, this is the cheek bone. Okay, cheek bone. Then the muscle here, then jaw here, and then the ears, then the eyebrows. You follow the line, then the nose, so usually you got something like this. Okay, I'm gonna have to erase this bridge one. So there's a shadow here. When you put a shadow, something like that, then gonna continue the eyes. One shadow here, shadow there, and then shadow here, then shadow there, shadow there, shadow, shadow here, shadow there, then shadow here. If they're a bald person, then you can draw a bald character. So something like that. And then dark part. So this is how usually they draw the American way, but I practice this first, this one, practice this one, then I merge my if you practice, then you'll be quick, and it's okay to have a mistake, because sometimes you see a mistake when you flip your character. If you flip your character, it looks like distorted. So make sure to have your camera, and you have those flip app, an app that can flip your image. So okay, so let's go back here. So this is the anime slash realistic one. So if you draw an eye here, surely this is the eye, this is the eye, and this is the nose. Usually in anime, nose is like non-existent. So you draw some characters, eyes, the traditional what do you call this, anime. Sometimes they don't have nose. Sometimes you see a dot, sometimes you see, or maybe you don't see anything, just shadow, something like that, shadow. That's how usually the anime or manga. But my style has, I usually draw the nostril. So this is where the nose. So I draw the whole, just small, just like that. Maybe you can shade them. Shadow. That's the nose. So if I enlarge that, so usually the nose is something like this. I mean, nose is, in a realistic way, nose is something like this. But in manga, you only see this nose. My style, you see this shadow, and then you shadow here. So you don't see this line. You don't see this one. But just shadow. Maybe you can draw a line, to indicate the nose bridge, just like that. But you don't draw the entire line unless you're drawing character side view. So you just have to just there. This one is invisible, so you just have to draw here. Yeah, sure, I'll draw the hairstyle for this one. Okay, so now let's draw the eyes. So usually for realistic eyes, when you draw oval, or maybe you can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hexagon. You can draw hexagon, or you want oval, or you can draw hexagon. When you draw a hexagon, this like guide. So I put here the tear duct. Then usually this part here and this part here, if it's a female, usually they extend more. Depends on your character. But in anime style, they don't usually draw this tear duct, so they just draw this one. But other eyes, like if you draw hexagon, usually they erase this part here. Then something like they connect. They do it instead like this, instead of this one. So when you draw this type, usually the girls, the female characters, so the badass looking characters, so you draw the eyebrow, the lashes, thick lashes, then this one here, then you draw the lashes here, lashes here, then you kind of erase this one, because it's anime style. But you can just draw your own if you want. Then eyes, then the line, the something like this. Then you draw the iris, then the reflection, darker, then line here, something like that. Then you draw the eyebrow. Usually the eyebrow you just make shade. But if you want a realistic one, then you can draw the realistic eyebrow. Yep, that kind of eyebrow. So let's go back here. So I'm thinking I might use this kind of style, this kind of eye. So I'm gonna draw. So if you're drawing oval, the oval is just a guideline, and you can draw something like that. So something like this. something like that. Usually if you draw a character and they have small eyes on a big face, usually that indicates a adult character. So for example, this one is like has a big eyes. So if she has a big eyes and a regular size face, usually this indicates like a teenager character. In anime, this is how it works. So the bigger the eyes on a face, the more your character is like child or younger. The more the eyes is smaller on a face like this. So example, we draw the eyes smaller. So draw the eyes smaller. Usually this indicates that your character is adult. Yeah, something like that. So the smaller the eyes, it indicates usually or mostly in anime adult version, but there are also race like Chinese, they have smaller eyes. So it really depends, because there are also child character. So let's sample if a character is Chinese, let's draw a face. If ears. If character has a small eyes and you want your character to be like young, because you want your character to be young, so usually you adjust the length of the head. So example, the adult has the younger has a longer forehead, so the hair is really like this. This is where the hair starts. The younger has longer forehead. The adult one has a shorter forehead. But it's another story if your character is bald. So you'll have to show how young your character is with their body. I have Discord, but I don't have what do you call this channel there. Maybe I'll create next time, for this kind of videos. I have Instagram, but I don't usually post there, so I usually post here on YouTube or DeviantArt, and all of them is in my channel. I post them in my channel, so if you check my channel, if you click my profile, you can find there my Discord. I haven't put my Discord, but my Instagram, my Facebook. So let's go back here. Usually the child has shorter neck compared to adult. So if your child is like 10 years old below, then usually their body type or their shoulder length is very narrow. Very narrow. And usually their nose is really small, and their happy face. So a younger character has small body, so they have narrow shoulder. But if it's adult, then they have broader shoulder and much longer neck. But younger ones have shorter necks. Okay, so let's go back here. We keep on, you know. So this one, gonna draw the eyes here, do the eyebrows, I mean eyelashes. This one too, eyelashes. So maybe, what kind of reaction? Maybe she's, I don't know, possessed. So let's put her bubbles there. And then she's eyebrow is afraid, so something like that. And you know, the mouth, because she is possessed, so oh, sus. No, you know, this is just a normal drawing. Hey, illusion art. Welcome to my little channel. So the mouth, I don't know, maybe slight open. Okay. Now let's, okay, because this character is adult, so we're gonna have to draw a longer neck than this one. This one is a young character. So longer neck. So usually if you draw a neck, yeah, after this I'll have a simple torso drawing. So if you draw a neck of a character, especially if it's a female, so you don't draw neck from the bottom of the ears, because it will look so jack like this. If you draw a neck from there, they will look jack. It will look like on steroids. So don't draw from there. So you draw from, you know, from almost half or maybe 3/4 of your eyes, so on. So there, you draw a neck from there. And then, you know, as I mentioned earlier, there's a muscle here, then muscle there. Then the traps, because female has soft traps. So then this is a collarbone. Okay, so let's go back here. So you draw ears. So this ears, so usually you see this side here instead this part. You see this part here and this part here. So something like that. Yeah, Instagram. My Instagram is, wait, I'll show you my Instagram. But I don't usually post there, so but you can still check my Instagram. So this is my Instagram, Art Sanity, Art Bible 07. So this is usually my art. Okay. So let's draw hair. So when you draw hair, you follow this her bald head. So let's think about hair. Maybe a simple hair. Okay, thank you. Thank you for following me on Instagram. So when you draw hair, you draw the line where the hair starts. So there's a lot of hairlines. So there's a heart shape, you know, like Vision from the Marvel. There are also like the M shape, you know, from Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. So there's a lot of type. There are also like almost straight, like bendy straight, like I don't know, the character from Slam Dunk. Because here in Philippines, his name is, wait, I forgot his name. But his name here in Philippines is Sakuragi, but I know his name is not Sakuragi in Japanese. So you know those kind of hair. So maybe we can do a straight, then yeah, this type of hair. So this is where you draw your hairline. So let's draw a simple hair. So this is the bangs here. So when you draw hair, usually you follow this head. So follow this head. So this is where the center line. And because it's a female, so usually they have thicker hair, so you have to extend. Usually in anime, the rules is like the length of this one from your eyes to your chin is the length of your hair from eyes to your top. So this is usually the rule. So this is where head starts and the hair ends, and you have to extend the outer side, and maybe you can draw a shorter hair just here. But you know, if you find it awkward, then you can just extend more. So okay, let's draw. Okay, how about we erase this line here, then we erase this one here. You know, just imagine the guideline. So this is the center of the hair, and she has the bangs. So bangs here, bangs there, bangs everywhere. Then the hair usually on the side. So if you have ears, I mean all of us has ears. So and you have like this kind of hair. So usually the hair is, you know, they're in the back or behind the ears. So you draw something like that, you know, like this, you know, the hair, the small hair. then the bangs. But it looks I think I need to extend the head more. I mean the hair. So have to extend here. Extend the hair, I mean the head. So you know the hair is at the back of the ears, and then there's another line there. So it's like they hide behind this hair, this one. So this is what happens here and also here. Yeah, just make sure something like this. So you can just something like that. Okay, so we're gonna do line art, but you know I have a very shaky hand, so I'm not really good with line art. But if it's digital, it's another story. So but you know, don't be scared to do line art. But if you're a digital artist, so it's okay. You can just have a mistake how much or how many times you want. You can just Control Z, undo. But here, once you are doing line art, you can't really afford to have a mistake. But you know, if you made a mistake, then just continue. Yeah, maybe if I make a Discord, you know, you guys can post there. You can post your drawings. You know, my channel, I've been doing like YouTube videos for maybe since 2008. Okay. I'm gonna finish this drawing because I also have to go somewhere, so Oh, I think I made a mistake. It's okay. You know, if you make mistake in traditional, you just gonna have to edit them on digital. And some will say, why just not go full digital? I mean, I also draw in digital, but the feeling of drawing in digital is not the same as traditional. You know, there's this feeling in traditional that's not in digital. So you know, the feel of the pen, the feel of the notebook, the paper. Yeah, but you know, if you watch my drawing closely, then you'll see some of the mistakes, especially you know, so but you know, I don't really mind the mistakes anymore. I'll just draw whatever I want. You know, especially the ears. The ears is small, the ears is big. I'm gonna have to make a temporary attire. So something like that. So we'll try to ink the hair. So you guys ink your characters. You know, so inking your character is kind of scary because you know that's the next step, and you don't want to make mistake, but it will look better. If you ink your character. But you know, inking your character is kind of time consuming, especially the hair. So if you know, if you draw shading, you have to like flip your canvas here. You know, can just use reference for your hair. That is much easier. I didn't use any reference on this one, but you know, this kind of hair, this hair is kind of generic, so. This is the basic hair for me. So you know, the ink is running out. And no, the hair is very imperfect. I'm just gonna shade her back. Okay. Oh no. Oops. Yep, so I think that's all for today. So this is my wait, I think someone asked for I think someone asked for a simple torso. Oh, it's here, portion art, so okay, I'll just erase this first, then I'll draw a simple torso. Yep, so that's the face you don't want to see. So I'll draw a simple torso. Okay, let's draw a simple torso. Let's find an empty page. Are there still people watching? Okay, there are two. I mean, they're wrong. So let's draw a simple torso. You know, if you draw a torso, if you divide them into two, so you draw a rectangle and then two, cut them in half. This is your rib cage. This is your rib cage, and this is your hip bone. So your hip bone usually covers 3/4 of the square, and you draw it. It's like a heart. It's like a deformed heart. So this is your rib cage and your shoulder. I mean, you draw a wider shoulder because you know there's a scapula here. I mean then this is your shoulder. So your arms. Your arms is, your bicep length is on this one. So you draw a shoulder here. Your arms is here, the length of your arms. And then your forearm is usually from the bottom of your hip bone and bottom of your rib. Something like this. Then your wrist, I mean your hand. Something like that. So this is your hip bone. Usually if it's a male, so it has smaller hip bone and wider upper body, so you shrink down this hip bone so you have like a V taper body. It's like that. Your chest, your chest and your abs, obliques, hip bone, legs, arms, something like that. So you shorter down your hip bone and you draw your chest. So your chest is like mostly this is the half, this is 3/4. So usually your chest is in the middle of the half and 3/4. So I'll go here. Then a collarbone. Like that. Are you still there? Mr. Illusion Art? So, yep. And this is the abs. You know the abs. Yeah. Yeah, you can just like, you don't have really to draw every line of the abs. You just draw something like this. Well, you don't have to draw every detail of the abs unless it's a very rib. Then this is the the hip bone. So you draw the legs. Usually the length of the head, if you're drawing adult, if you're drawing adult person, so we're gonna draw the head, neck, traps. So if you're drawing an adult person, so usually they have like from here to head, usually they have the same length at the bottom if it's adult. But usually realistically or mostly in society, you remove the head, and this one is the size of the legs. So this is usually the size of the legs. This one, realistically. Okay, I'll show you one after this one. So So I'll
Hindi lang tiyo.
okay. So now when I search chibi, yeah, there are a lot of types of chibi, but before that, I continue this one. So if you follow this, the realistically proportion, so you have to get the top of the hip bone and the bottom, and you find the middle, and that's where your knees and your legs, I mean your feet. So you draw your legs, so yep, so that's how you usually draw the realistic body of a male. But you know, in anime, usually you follow this length here and equivalent length here. So if the hip bone is here, so you find the middle here. So this is where the knees. So if you follow that, so if this is where the knees are, then he has longer legs. You know, just like in character. I mean in anime or protagonist character. Something like that. You know, when you draw a chibi, usually chibi has different types. So you have like, if you draw a head, if you draw, usually chibi has like 2.5 head. So you draw maybe another one, and then half of that. Then usually they have bigger eyes. You know, it depends on your character, but usually chibi has bigger eyes. Now let's draw hair. And let's, you know, the body is like, it's very small, so it's like child, you know, chibi is a child, so you have to smaller the neck, and then you have to divide their body. So if you divide, wait, if we put the head on their head here, then the head here, you know, the length of the upper part is the same length of the lower part. So this is where you so this is your torso and your hip bone, then your feet, you know, your shoes, and same style, arms. You know, chibi is not usually muscular, so you know, something like that. You just have to follow, just have to get the length length of the body and then divide them in half. Or maybe you can, if you want a very small looking character, you can just lower. This is the upper body and this is the lower part. You know, you can just lower the legs instead of having an equal length of lower and upper body. Something like that. But if you want more smaller characters, so if you draw a head, usually chibi character has smaller jaw.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah.
Sir, tanong mo ang version. Sila daw sila mas.
Ah,
Hindi ko lang sa
sige. So they have smaller jaw, bigger eyes. Yeah. Ah. Same hairstyle. So if you want a smaller looking chibi, then you can just have one head, another head. That's it. You divide them into half, or maybe you can go lower and smaller neck. And you know, you can just draw your upper body and wait. Upper body, then the pants. Something like that. No, very small character. Yep. Thank you. So I'll show you guys my favorite part of drawing is drawing the arms. So I'm gonna show you very quick. Oh, it's okay. So I'm gonna show you very quick. Oh, okay. So goodbye. So guys, I'm gonna show you a very quick. So this is chest, front shoulder, lateral, rear, bicep, tricep, elbow, forearm, so you know, this is what I usually like drawing, aside from drawing female character. So I think that's it. Yep. I like drawing body parts in a very detailed way. So yep, muscular build. So you don't really have to memorize every muscles. You just like to memorize them all. It's a plus. So okay guys, I think this will be all. See you next time. Bye bye. Thank you.